The soft hum of the vacuum cleaner echoed against the glass walls of the boardroom as Maria pushed it along the floor, her back aching from the long shift. It was nearly midnight, and the entire building was dark except for the flickering lights on the 22nd floor. She hadn't eaten since morning, her uniform was damp with sweat, and yet she moved with the quiet dignity of someone used to being invisible. That's when she heard footsteps behind her. She turned sharply, startled, clutching the mop like a shield. "Sorry," a voice said quickly. "Didn't mean to scare you." Maria blinked. A young man, maybe in his early 30s, wearing jeans and a button-up shirt with the sleeves rolled up, stood there holding 2 takeaway coffee cups. "You're still working?" he asked gently. She nodded, not used to people speaking to her beyond "clean this" or "don't touch that." He walked in like he belonged there, but not in the arrogant way she was used to. He looked around, then knelt and started picking up the chairs she hadn't gotten to yet. Maria hesitated. "You don't need to do that," she said, voice barely above a whisper. "Yeah, but I want to." Besides, he offered her a coffee, "It's nicer with company." She stared at him. He looked familiar. She'd seen his face on a bulletin board, she was sure of it, but couldn't place where. That night, they cleaned the boardroom together. Maria was 43, a single mother of 2, juggling late-night janitorial shifts while her teenage son watched over his little sister back home. Life hadn't been kind to her since her husband left 5 years ago. She'd once dreamed of being a teacher, but bills don't wait for dreams. So she scrubbed floors and washed windows in a high-rise she could never afford to live in, let alone dream of working at as anything more than a cleaner. Over the weeks, the man, who introduced himself as Jay, would appear again. Sometimes he brought sandwiches. Other nights, just his stories. He told her he was new to the company, trying to understand the place from the ground up. He listened when she talked. About how her daughter wanted to be a doctor. About how her son felt like he had to grow up too fast. About how she used to love books and poetry, before exhaustion swallowed every free second of her day. One night, Maria arrived to find the boardroom already half-cleaned. Jay was on his knees scrubbing the skirting boards with the wrong kind of detergent. She laughed for the first time in weeks. "You're going to ruin the polish." "Then you'd better show me how it's done," he grinned. One Monday morning, the building buzzed with activity. The CEO was visiting. People scrambled, adjusting ties, clearing desks. Maria paid no mind. She had her bucket and her mop and a shift to finish. But then came the shock. The elevator doors opened, and from them stepped Jay, no longer in jeans, but in a tailored suit, flanked by executives. People bowed, greeted him with deference. Maria's heart sank. She stood frozen, mop in hand. Jason Welling, newly appointed CEO of Wellington & Company, walked straight toward her. He didn't hesitate. "Maria," he said warmly, "I missed you this weekend." The room went silent. "She trained me, you know," he added, turning to the stunned executives. "When I wanted to understand this company from the ground up, I figured I should learn from the people who really keep it running." A few people chuckled nervously. Maria didn't know what to say. But Jay wasn't done. "We talk about leadership like it comes from corner offices. But you want to know real strength," he looked around. "It's coming to work at 10 p.m. after getting your kids to bed. It's making a floor shine while your body aches and still managing to smile." Maria is a leader. She just doesn't have the title. The following week, Maria was called into HR. She thought she was being let go. Instead, she was offered a full scholarship program sponsored by the company for evening classes in early education. Flexible shifts. A promotion to facilities supervisor. Jay had set it all up. Her hands trembled as she signed the papers. 6 months later, Maria stood in the same boardroom, not with a mop, but with a presentation clicker in hand. She was helping lead a new initiative, Humans Behind the Glass, a mentorship and training program designed for janitorial, cafeteria, and security staff looking to upskill within the company. Jay watched from the back, proud. The message? Sometimes, the people we overlook are the strongest among us. And sometimes, the most powerful act of leadership is bending down, grabbing a mop, and saying, "You're not alone." Maria's story reminds us that it's not just titles that define greatness, but compassion, grit, and the courage to rise even when no one is watching. Because the floor might be where your story starts, but it doesn't have to be where it ends.